Because no matter what I say or Yaya says or Syfr says, it's still on some level programming someone else. But we can't, I mean, it, to a certain extent, just sharing information. But we have to integrate that information. And we have to be still and we listen. What's inside of us that wants to come out? We have this intuitive, talking about our womb. We have we have so much wisdom just right here inside of us.
But it has to be sparked.
We don't sit still. Well, yes, that's why
even
activators
taking
such
somebody,
as myself,
right,
you and all of us,
right,
we can activate people, but it has to, at some point, still become organic to that individual.
Right.
Because, it's so interesting because they say that everything you ever want to know, you see it right in nature, as above, so below.
And it's already in you.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Can we do that, all what you were speaking of, in the institutions that our children are currently going to?
But why are we limited to the ones that they're currently going to?
Currently going to.
Why are we limited?
Yeah. See, because I'm working on Saturday. She and I, in fact, are working on. No, I know, but
I agree.
The question is why? Because you limited it when you put the question out there. You said to the institutions that they are currently going to.
To spark dialogue. In
right.
regards.
So here go the dialogue.
It depends. Well, are you when you say? Ask the question one more time because I want to know what children you're speaking.
I'm speaking about African children within the Americas going to institutions not getting fed the proper information spiritually, psychologically, physically as well. So the institutions those are the public. We'll just say the public institutions.
I would say in general, no. There have been minimal strides to bring gardens into the schools,
curriculum,
which some of the students have access to and participate in. But when I say go out in nature, I'm not speaking of a garden.
On concrete.
And so I think it's very difficult to do that when our system is set up to pass tests. It's not set up for wholeness.
Okay.
So, and it's something we've discussed before too, in terms of that it's not, we have to come into ourselves. So instead of a either or, we have to be both and.
Right.
And that's more of our nature. That's more of the indigenous nature.
Right.
So it takes the communication, because when we look at the word communication anyway, look at the words that are in it. You see common unity. The only way to come to common unity is to, one, be stuck on a desert together somewhere, to be stuck somewhere in some situation together, right? But there's some type of communication that's going to go on, if it's just body language and facial expressions, but eventually, of course, by nature, we speak words, and so in those words, we call it in this language today communication, and so and that means a common unification through the language. So through this dialogue, this is a very big step in that whole process of all of the questions that you are prodding, but also in terms of what Sister said and what you're asking, it's very important to go to the root of education. The Latin root is educere, which means to pull out or bring out. So like Sister is saying, and as we've all said, so knowledge is really within us. It's not about training us. It's about taking us through processes. Let's keep it as simple as what Sister Akhi said. If we just, and we used to do the camps, and we're going to be doing our camps again, as well as Saturday Academy and Summer Academy. We're working on that right now, and after school academies. But if it's just grabbing the children, a group of them from your community and your children, like my son used to be with me all the time, and taking them out to nature. That alone, there are some youth who don't get out off the concrete.
That's right.
Okay.
So that alone begins a process.
Right. You wanted to say?
Yes, I wanted to tie that into the matter of us being the consumers and not managing the money game. When our youth, and I'm talking about our toddlers, when they have access to the abundance of nature, that scarcity doesn't set in. And without scarcity, there's really no need for money because we can barter, we can exchange, we can do whatever. We will have commerce, as Dr. John Henrik Clarke stated, on a massive global scale and all of us are wealthy.
So in other words, we're going back to the origin when you start looking at the Nile
Well,
Valley.
it's
It was
a wave,
right,
a
right,
wave.
right,
Even though
right.
the brother spoke to the universal water, it is a wave.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've waved down. Hopefully, this is the bottom, and we're going to wave back up.
You said
those
something.
of us that survived this purging,
That's real.
because that's just
People
the way
have-
that she does it.
Let me ask you folks this. Do you think that we have, this is the bottom? Because when we look at this perceived attack, or is it an attack?
Not just our bottom, no. This is the bottom of this age of things, or this world
Right.
as we
Yes.
know it.
Right.
It's
So
it's-
that's what we're feeling. That's what we're
what's
actually
happening right now. It's
seeing.
a shift, yes. So the
right.
dollar is going to fall. So we better be creative, as well as we better take those of us of light and those who are willing to see the light and hear the vibration and want to touch some of that light, as Sister mentioned earlier, want to get with it and gravitate towards, so that we can build. That's that building process, and we're in it. Because as an economy, though we're not unified as such, the amount of money, that money you're talking about, it ranks within the top 10 nations?
Yeah.
You know, we're spending $300-something billion
We're
a
a
year?
trillion.
A trillion?
We're a trillion.
Whoo, goodness gracious. You know what I'm saying? So as that comes together, but while that comes together, at the same time, there better be some of us thinking on another level to be able to transform too and shift.
You said something, because you made my sister sit back and smile and.
Yeah, we can't it's not just about that green dollar.
So it's not. Okay.
We have to be creative.
You know, what's really interesting,
What's that?
the fact that we don't hold the dollar sacred as a collective
Right.
is the undermining of the dollar.
Right. Right.
Without us having the worship for it, it is becoming devalued globally. Everybody is fighting for, okay, let's sell barrels of oil based on this particular, what is the word they use for a money something. So the dollar for us here in the so-called Americas, the dollar is antithesis for us. And we are caving it. One way or the other.
In
we
Spain, the
are
dollar
caving
has.
it.
You look at Spain, you look at Greece. They're falling. You know, and from an economical perspective, and I believe, and help me out, if that is going to be the case here within the Americas.
That's been happening all around. Right now in France, they are having their own Occupy Wall Street. It's going on right now. The tear gas is being thrown. Folks are throwing bombs. It's worse than what was happening with Occupy. That's going on right now. Just within the past year, it was happening in Greece. Now, if y'all know about the new papers that came out called the Panama Papers, that just exposed all of the world leaders hiding billions of dollars in various ways, offshore accounts and
Swiss
hedge
accounts,
funds and
bank
all of
accounts,
that.
things like this.
Yeah, and
Right.
they call it the Panama Papers because it's a legal company in Panama that has been around for a long time, and you know, you have to pay to hide secrets. That's what this world have been doing, you know. And so all this stuff is coming out now. It's been leaked, like 11.5 million documents. So we're in the time of revealings. We're in the time of revelations. The Swedish prime minister or whatever had to step down because he was exposed. And they're protesting over there right now.
So
They
in other
want a
words, you're
total
saying
change
this,
of their government.
In a nutshell, you're saying that this whole system is going to have to fall.
Yes.
It's going
And
to have to
so,
fall
like,
in
I'm
order.
not sure exactly what her attachment is to the dollar, but our image not on that dollar. Our symbols are used on the back of that dollar. That money, that dollar carries an energy that does need to go. It's meant for us to do something else. So I don't know how I like what you've said about it. I feel the truth and the power within what you said about it, but I'm not trying to cling on to that dollar. If anything, I want to work with some folks. Let's create some different stuff. Let's do some bartering. Let's create our own. Let's create money with Harriet Tubman on it. Let's create money with Queen and
Are you
Zinga on
talking
it.
about paper money, or are we talking?
I don't care what
gold,
we create, as
silver?
long as we
talking-
back, as long as we back up
long
the
as we back
value
on
of it, as long as we make it work.
Okay, and that's pretty right. Okay, and I think that's one of the things that was going on in Africa when Gaddafi was killed, when he was bringing a lot of the heads of states in Africa to use the minerals, use the diamonds use the gold, the actual natural resources within
Which are
Africa.
being sucked up by parasites, right?
Amazing.
Oh, okay. So
You know, this talk about money and it's kind of, you know, I appreciate that, but on a spiritual level, we have our current running through us.
Come on.
Our chi, our energy, our current. And in a physical plane, it manifests as currency. That's what we have to get up. That's our power. Because out of that comes us being able to manifest
how am I going
in
to feed
physical
my
reality.
children? How am I going to buy my house
Exactly.
without
You're going to build your
You're
house.
going to buy your house with your creativity,
Come
which
on.
comes from your current, your energy. And when you're,
I can't go to the bank. I can't go to the bank.
We're talking about the hereafter, man.
Okay, I cannot go to the bank for the viewers out there right now. I can't go to the bank, ironically speaking, with this current, this vibration that you're speaking about. If I walked into the bank, I'm not being to be rude, and say I need a loan with this currency that's going through.
Yes,
and I'm
I disagree.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I
It's
disagree.
called a
Explain
business
it.
plan.
Explain it to
It's
the
called a
disagree.
business plan.
It's called a business plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I disagree because
Okay.
when you seek yourself and when you commune with, the cosmos, your higher power, your God, when you commune, you're given what you need.
And God, we
And
trust.
you-
That's on a dollar
we-
bill.
we-
Okay. And
You're
God,
given what you need. So you may not, I don't have any money today. I need
Right.
to, instead of stressing and being all frantic
Come on.
and everything, I need to sit and meditate. How am I going to get this
So let
money?
me ask you, is that system
I
has to-
guarantee you an
Okay.
idea is going to pop into your head and you're going to be able to put that into fruition. But if you are full of parasites
And fear, or what have you.
And fear.
That is a
The-
parasite.
Right.
and,
Oh, okay.
you got your womb is not, your colon is not clean, and all of these
Wow.
other things. You're
Come on.
going to be
Wow.
blocked.
Queen of Food talks about that.
I need to go here, and excuse me.
Yes.
I really need to go here.
Go ahead.
Please,
Pull it up,
just
brother.
continue to talk
Pull it
and
up.
dialogue, because what has come, and these are some borrowed glasses. Fortunately and unfortunately, they're not mine, but nevertheless.
So
nevertheless,
while you look at that, brother,
Yes.
all the life activities, and we've discussed it here. So
Okay.
what? We have to touch each other. We have to talk to each other. We have to literally touch each other too, because I really wasn't even thinking on a literal sense and touch each other. But we do. We have to touch. We're missing that. A lot of black families aren't touching that. And when you look at indigenous cultures, they touch.
Yes.
Touch is important.
Right.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
important.
So we have to touch our children again. We have
Okay.
to
And
touch
each
one
other.
another again.
Right.
Yeah. And so.
And ourselves.
Right.
Yes.
And our, yes.
I know
so-
very few people that actually
Just
stroke themselves.
I self-massage, yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
I want to
Yeah.
touch back on what you were saying,
The
this
colon.
vibration, the womb, and this
then the
energy,
colon.
and all of that. And like I said, these are not the perfect glasses for me, but this sister's book is called Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. I want to show the audience this because it's a very powerful book. I just recently picked this up, and I think it's important that we study some of these things, and particularly you were speaking about the womb and this vibration. It says here, the condition of a woman's womb also directly reflects the condition of a woman's mind, spirit, and action. The womb is a storehouse of all of our emotions. It collects every feeling, good and bad. Today, we have collectively reached a state of negative womb power. Unnatural living, unhealthy lifestyle penetrate negative womb power, and in turn
Burger King,
supports the
McDonald's.
conflicts of human, reflects the conflicts of the woman's womb. The condition of a woman's womb also reflects the condition of all the relationships, no matter what those relationships are. When a woman's womb is in a healthy state, her life is a reflection of this balance. And we're talking about the balancing of the world. We're talking about going into an institution, being able to borrow money without,
Credit.
pardon me?
Credit.
without credit
Credibility.
or credibility. So in order, we have to rebalance the world. If we're rebalancing the world, when I say we, because I'm totally in connection with my femininity, understanding that female male energy is yin and yang. How are we then going to get the masses that are unafraid to understand, or that are afraid to, and I'm going to speak about men, because we are truly afraid to touch and talk about that vibration. We don't even want to recognize it. So how do we get past that?
I thought we went here already.
No, we didn't.
It's going to be some work.
Is that work?
Yes, ma'am.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I was just
I
going
just
to say,
wanted
it's
to
going
say
to
it
be
again
some work. Because
for the
what?
audience that just came in, they probably didn't, and for the viewers that just walked in the house, they probably didn't understand it. So I wanted to repeat the question.
The first part of it is, and thanks and appreciation to you again for the dialogue for people who tune in, because information is coming at a rapid rate now. People
Right.
who you never know who's going to tap into this at any time.
Exactly.
Man, you know what I'm saying? And what it's going to do for them. Sister Kinu may spark them. Brother Sankofa may spark them. Brother Syfr may spark them. Sister Yaha may spark them. Just the whole
So
dialogue.
you're saying we
and
simply
interaction.
need a spark. You say the spark is already happening.
It's already happening. And the thing is, we are part of a collective consciousness. So I have a thought, and somebody over in Africa feels that is in my vibrational frequency. They're spark. They're in alignment. They're like two. They might not know it, but if they are, because I've had that experience with a friend in Ghana once.
Wow.
We had that connection. But they say that the internet is one collective mind, and what we need to do now is create one collective heart. And so we really have to increase and expand with intention our heart. And so light workers all over the world are doing that work, and it's exponential, the awakening that's happening. So I think that it's already happening.
Okay.
And we just have to keep doing our steps.
And we have to keep doing our
it.
stuff.
We have to do
Okay, we're almost out of time. So I want to ask, you get 20 seconds each. 20 seconds. What's the next step? What do we need to do to continue to move forward?
Well, from my perspective and the work that I do, we will have to detox. Those of us that are going to move forward, we will have to do what I call a Trinity detox. We detox the mind,
Trinity detox.
we detox the emotions, and we detox the spirit. And I do have a protocol for that. And that's what it's going to take for those of us that are going to continue.
What about those people who can't afford it?
Okay.
We don't even know who see you with him about the afford. How can they not
that's how
afford
people
it?
Okay,
think.
ladies and gentlemen,
How can
we
they
have.
not afford it?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
It's your 20.
You got 15.
I got 15. Okay, so I am with the sister. We must do whole life activities, and so in the educational institutions that I am working on, and my sister here is working on with me, we tap into the whole thing. We start with socialization, hugs and/or handshakes, so we get that touching piece in. We tapping in spiritually, mentally, and physically, historically, culturally, and on every level. So just to build institutions.
Building institutions.
Cleaning up everything.
Okay, wonderfully said.
Spiritually, mentally, and physically to include the environment.
Thank you. Sister Lala.
Meditate, get out into nature, detox, learn your own love language, love yourself unconditionally, and spread that to every single person and being in your world.
Okay, I'm going to say this as the host. Choose your music. Choose your music wisely.
Spirit music.
And thank you all for coming into the show.
Thank you.
You are now in tune to Education in the Community. I am your host, Kinara Sankofa, and good night. So yes, I think, there's a whole lot that we need to do, and we're doing it, it's going to have,